I'm Dr. Mary Hill, and I want to talk about spirals. Spirals, curved lines of force, like a river, are more powerful than a straight line. And this oscillation or sidewinding quality of the spiral generates force and energy. And some people call it chi, and some people call it kundalini. But the natural worlds and the supersensory worlds move in cycles, winding and unwinding, and not in linear time. So also, the intersection of these curved lines of force are thought to amplify power, so that in Indian Ayurvedic medicine traditions, this intersection of these serpentine energies in the body are called nodes or nadis, N-A-D-I-S, and the root word of that is serpentine. And in Hindu contemplative practices and yogic practices, this intersection of two polarity forces moving up into all of the energy centers or chakras are said to generate force, energy, power, healing. And on the earth body, these moving lines of force on the body of the earth and in the body of the earth are called ley lines or dragon lines. And as these lines cross, lots of sacred temples are built on them, and it is said that they amplify spiritual force and harness spiritual power. And so also the spirals of the labyrinthian body in relationship to health are represented by the human genome or DNA, which is a double helix. And Asclepius, the father of Western medicine's emblem, is a spiral moving up a central pole or the spine, as is Hermes in Greek mythology, the divine messenger and guide of souls, and his emblem are two spirals moving up and down a central axis in order to ascend and descend in the spiritual journey. And in the Abrahamic traditions, the seraphim are described as fiery serpentine angels. So spirals, the winding and unwinding of flow, force, and form, are inherent to creative evolution. And so as we spiral, we are also evolving creatively. Now I'm going to show you different approaches to spiraling on the floor and on some of the equipment. The first exercise we're going to do on the floor, representing a spiral and how the spiral is one of the most efficient ways of moving. So we're going to start in what's called a Z position, which is a spiral, and I'm going to wind back, and I'm going to do it slowly first so you can see it. And then from here, you can move and then go to the other side. So you're basically rolling on your stomach and moving to the other side. Now if you want to do it fast, it's very efficient. And I like to always think of myself in a sci-fi movie, and I'm diving for the mazer. You never know when you're going to need it in this world. So we're going to go over here. The next one we're going to do is on the Cadillac, and I'm going to do a spiral using the square bar, and it's a variation on what's called the tower, which is basically just a straight lift off, but I've changed it to work on a spiral. And I think of myself as being a fern in this position, or a plant of some kind. And you know how the leaves unfold and then they spiral around and they fan like, and then infold again and come down. And again, you can do the same thing on the other side. So there you are, and you're an unfurling fern, and then you're an infurling fern. And then you can just stretch yourself out, and you're done. Okay, now this exercise is also an example of spiraling or unfolding, and this one's called the snake, and actually the variation on this is the twisted snake. So you're going to start out by sequencing from the spine, vertebra by vertebra, out through the top of the head until you hit a plank position, and then you're going to drop the hips and you're going to spiral. Now bring your arm further back. Now go ahead and bring the wrist in, the elbows, the shoulders, and then you're going to go ahead and unfold. And again, we're going to push out, lengthen out, inhale back, and folding back in, and then head, sternum, ribs, waist, hip. Now we're going to use the gyrotonic tower pulley machine and do a spiraled reverse dolphin. And a lot of the gyrotonic work likes to simulate, well, it feels like simulating moving through water. So with this, again, you'll go straight up, but then you're going to curl and curve, and you're going to wind down the central axis at an oblique angle, and then you're going to wind up the central axis again, curl, and then releasing down, and then finding your way back to center. This spiral demonstrates winding and unwinding, and a lot of my golfer clients say that this really helps them with their golf swing. So you're going to start by making an arc and releasing all the way down. Then you're coming up, you're moving through, and again you have an even sense of resistance each time, and it really feels good, I have to tell you. Lifting up, you're in extension, and then you're in flexion, and you're moving all these different angles in between.